Hey guys, today we're going to be doing an updated review on the Trimui Smart Pro. I've had this for about a couple weeks now, so I figured I'd let you guys my thoughts on it after owning it for a while rather than just my first impressions. First off, we'll go over what I like and dislike about the Trimui Smart Pro. We'll start with the likes and the dislikes because for me the likes far outweigh the dislikes. I like how the D-pad is. I like the joysticks. I wish they were a little bit longer so you could be more precise, but I like how they feel. I like how the buttons feel. They're just clicky enough, but you can still play like Super Nintendo and stuff where you have to hold a button, hit another button without any issues. Top buttons are nice. Haven't had any issues with those. I like the size of the screen. It's just big enough that you can see what you're doing on, like, for say PS1 without it looking super tiny. Yet it's not like too big. You could still put this in your pocket. I still want to get a case for it for doing exactly that. For now I've been just keeping it in the box because the case I ordered apparently was a screen protector and not a case and screen protector. I don't know if you can kind of see that, but I have a screen protector on there. I messed it up a little bit. Got a few hairs underneath it, but it doesn't really, you don't notice it while you're playing, so it's not too big of a deal. It works for me. I like how loud it can get. Most of the time I find myself turning it down to around 15 out of 20, maybe 10 out of 20 for volume. As far as if you're indoors, the screen gets bright enough and it's plenty good. I definitely like the sleep mode because as you can see, push the button and it boots right into it. I've had this thing in sleep mode for probably 2 or 3 days now and it only lost a few percent of battery, so that's pretty good. I like the selection of games. I like the amount of games that you can play. I've gotten most of the PS1 games and PSP that I've tried work. There's a few that definitely don't work no matter how strong of a device you have unless you're on like computer, because sometimes emulation just doesn't play nice. If you've ever done any emulation in the past, you already know that. Now as far as things that I don't like, the screen, how I said it gets bright enough for indoors specifically. If you're outdoors in direct sunlight, it's going to be a little harder to see the screen. You can still see it, but it's going to look like you turned your brightness down really far in the game. So I wish you could increase the brightness. I don't know if that's anything to do with the software, if that's just what the screen maxes out at. I tried playing around a little with the saturation and whatever, but it just kind of made the image look a little weird. Another thing that I don't like, and this has been mentioned in other videos, if you're playing a game that requires you to quickly, throw the stick left and then right and then left again, a lot of times it'll register a couple of the inputs and then it'll just randomly skip one of the inputs. So, for example, you'll be in a racing game, what's it called? Colin McRae Rally 2.0. I've been playing that a lot. And I would say probably 1 out of 5 times that I attempt to enter a drift, most of the time it'll be just fine, but maybe 1 out of 5 times I'll attempt to enter a drift. I'll be holding left and then I'll go to turn back to the right and it just will not register the input to the right. And I will have to completely let go of the joystick and then push the stick back to the right. Sometimes it'll go to the right first try after doing that. Sometimes I'll have to push it to the right 2 or 3 different times before it finally registers again. A lot of other people have said they had the same issue. They think it's something to do with the software side, because apparently there's a patch you can download and it's supposed to fix it, but I haven't tried that yet. So as far as dislikes, the only thing that's really bad I would have to say is I wish the screen could be brighter, and I wish they'd fix the issue with the joystick. And then when you're playing a game like PlayStation or N64 for a while, the thermal stuff in the back of this, where all the heat goes, it literally just heats up right here and gets uncomfortably warm if you're playing for long enough, to the point where I'll just have to turn it off for a while and let it cool down, because who wants to be holding on to something that's super hot while they're playing? It won't burn you, but it's uncomfortable. And now I'll go over a little bit, show you a little more gameplay footage, since last time in my first video I didn't get a whole lot of gameplay footage. I'll show you a lot of the games that I've been playing on this thing. Open up my save state. Oh, also, in the first video I said that I couldn't figure out how to get the left joystick to work with PS1 games. I figured it out. RetroArch was setting this up as like a generic controller. You can just set it to say that it's a DualShock controller, and then it works for all the games for PS1 that supported a DualShock joystick. They support it on here now. It was just something I had to set up, just like I figured. Let's just go arcade. Maybe I'll be able to show you what I was talking about the joystick having, not the joystick, but the software kind of having issues. Like the software with the steering, I should say. See if I can get it on video to kind of show you guys what I'm talking about.
3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, now I can turn left, and then right, left, right, no problem. Seems to be fine. Now right there, that was all just me messing up. We'll see if we can get it to happen just unintentionally. I won't purposely try to cause it to happen. We'll see if it'll just happen on its own, so I can show you the perfect example of why it would piss you off. Usually for me it happens right around this last turn down here if it's going to ever happen. Oh, yep, right there. I'm holding completely to the right and it's not registering to the right. My wheel wasn't even turning. Now my wheel's turning. That's what I'm talking about with the issue. It'll just randomly happen. Or right there, I'm holding to the right and it's not turning right. The wheel is just not turning. I put it in reverse just to show you, still not turning right. Some people online said you can just recalibrate the joysticks with the software, but I did not find that fixed the issue. It seemed like it just made it worse. That is my biggest complaint with the device. If they could fix that through a software update or something, I would have a lot more good to say about it. Now I'll just go ahead and show you. I know in the first video I showed Crash Bandicoot the left joystick wasn't working, so I'll go ahead and show you guys that I got it working. Then I can even show you how I got it working for anybody else that got the device and might have the same issue. See, left joystick's perfectly working fine now. All I did was you push the menu button, you go to advanced menu. You can just exit out of that, go over here, go to input, go all the way down to port 1 controls. Make sure that is set to none, analog to digital. Maybe I actually have to do it from the quick menu. You go to controls, port 1, device type set to DualShock, because normally it's set to standard. You got to go to DualShock and then the left joystick will work. And as you can see, the left joystick works now. You'll get the same issue as with the racing game that I showed you with basically any other game you play, where if you try to do an input, you go one way or the other, and then it just doesn't want to go back the other way for whatever reason. Everybody online said it's an issue with the software. They said no matter, some of them said they changed the operating system and it still did it. So it's something to do with like the joystick itself, but I've seen on Reddit that somebody posted like a fix that you download and it patches it to make it work properly, so I'll have to try that out. There's a little bit of Crash Bandicoot working. Let's see. Show you guys some more games. I'm still like satisfied with the device overall. I like it. I play it all the time, especially at work where I'm just waiting on orders. They really need to fix the issue with the joysticks, and supposedly it happens with the D-pad sometimes, but I've never had it give me issues with the D-pad, just the joystick. If they could fix that, I think it'd be like the best device you could buy. And later on, I'm going to test that patch I was talking about, and if that fixes it, then I'll give this a better rating. But as of now, I'd still recommend this. Oop. Now, this game specifically does not support DualShock, so I got to set this back to standard, and then now it works fine. If they can fix the issue with the joysticks, I would like this thing a whole lot better. Probably a nostalgic game for a lot of you if you played this growing up like I did. I don't remember ever beating this boss as a kid either. I came pretty close now. I think it's just a matter of giving it enough time and I'll end up beating it. Oh, I missed hitting him in the head right there. That would have damaged him. I missed it again. No. As you can see, I'm not the best at this, but I also haven't played it in a couple days now, so I've got to remember the controls a little bit. Sometimes you can just spam that attack and it'll hit him. If you don't hit him in the head, it doesn't hurt him. Tekken works on here good. I might have to set this one back to DualShock mode. I think there's a way you can set it up with each game so you don't have to always keep going back and forth messing with it. For me, it doesn't really bother me that much. It takes a couple seconds to mess with, but definitely would be nice to just set it up for each specific game and not have to mess with it again. I remember playing this game a lot as a kid. This is one of the fighting games we had. Seems basically just as hard as it was when I was a kid. You can't exactly just mash buttons like you can with a lot of other fighting games. You can try, like, I'll just mash buttons, but a lot of the attacks are more slow and thought out with this game. And I do not know any of the combos with this as of right now. Let's see if I can do anything. Oh, I'm about to lose to this guy after I did all that. Yep. There's Tekken. Tomb Raider is an interesting one because this game, I played it way back when I was like maybe 10 years old. Tried playing it now and the controls just seem very weird to me. What I like to do for this one, since it doesn't support DualShock, I set it to standard and then I'll tell it to emulate the left stick like I'm using the D-pad, and then I can still use the joystick. I forget the controls with this game. Which button jumped? No, it's the square button, but yet it doesn't just jump all the time when you want it to. It seems really weird with the timing. I'm sure somebody played this back in the day and would tell me that I'm just bad at the game. But for me, the controls are just kind of weird. But it's supposed to be like a hard platformer too, if I remember right. The game seems to run perfectly fine on here too. We'll exit this because I don't even know what I was supposed to be doing at that part. Oh, let's see. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. If I remember right, this game works perfectly fine. I played a lot of Tony Hawk growing up. So if you ever played Tony Hawk growing up, you'd have a lot of fun playing it on here too. And this one, if I remember right, does support DualShock. If it didn't, the buttons wouldn't really be working right now, so yep. Let's just do free skate. Continue. Foundry. I think I played this one as a kid a lot too. I remember having the most fun building custom levels with all the spike pits and everything. Ooh, I messed that up. Let me get a hang of the controls real quick. And you can switch. So this is Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3, I think it said. Oops. I had to turn the music off because otherwise YouTube will give me a copyright strike. We'll play by their rules, but you all know the music for these games is really good. A lot of people grew up and found new bands by playing this game that they'd never known about. Yeah, the game works perfectly fine. Switch back to the right way. Looks just like it would have on PS1. There's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. That game works perfectly fine. I tried this one, Vagrant Story, but it's in Japanese, so I'm not going to waste time showing you because I don't even know what the buttons and stuff are. We'll go over to PSP. You'll notice this says Minecraft PSP and COD Zombies PSP, because there is homebrew ports of both of these games for PSP that you can play on here. And for someone like me that never owned a PSP and never knew this existed, it's pretty fun to mess around with. I already have a save state on Minecraft, so I'll just jump into that and show you. Controls are a little weird with this, because as you guys know, the PSP did not have a right joystick. Okay, let me just exit out and start a new game. Don't think any of you want to see me playing where it's dark out and you can't see anything. and this is Minecraft PSP. Down to English, options. I turn my analog stick sensitivity all the way up because for me it doesn't really seem very fast no matter what. Do a survival world, create new world. Now, you'll notice when I'm playing that I use these buttons to look around. You can go into the emulator settings and map these buttons to be the right joystick and then aim with the right joystick, but for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to show you how the game was designed to be played for PSP. So it's designed to have you use this to look around, then this one's to mine stuff. Right now I have auto jump turned on. Normally I just set it where I press select to jump, like you can see. Auto jump keeps life simpler, but could also kill you if you really get hardcore into this. Sure, if you played this on computer, if that's possible, which I'm sure it is with an emulator, you could set up the mouse to aim and everything and have a whole lot of fun. You can still move with the left joystick, and then this cycles through your inventory. Press those at the same time, and you can get into your crafting and everything. Oh, the game must have just been lagging a little bit right there because it wasn't registering me going forward. This is definitely like a fully recreated version of Minecraft from the ground up, so it's definitely not like the original Minecraft. It's a fan-made remake. They rebuilt the game from nothing. So the controls will be a little weird, but once you get used to them, it's still pretty enjoyable. Place blocks. You can do everything that you need to do. Alright. That's Minecraft. And then now I'll show you the COD Zombies, otherwise known as NZP for a certain word that I won't say because YouTube would ban me, but N Zombies Portable. Now for this game, I always go into here, set it so the right one looks around because this was ported for PSP and everything. I turn look acceleration off. Sensitivity I turn up a little. Leave aim assist on. Go to graphics, show FPS. We'll turn the max FPS up. Normally I crank the field of view, but I'm going to leave it down a little bit because once you get too far into it, it'll lag out a little bit on here. We'll disable those. And then I'll just show you. This one, to me, is like one of the coolest homebrew things that you can run on here. If this thing had a little bit more power so it didn't lag out as much, I'd probably have a lot more fun. And they say that they have to mess with the AI for the zombies a little bit. Whoa. I messed up one of the settings. What did I mess with? There's one setting that makes it look weird like this. This is definitely not how the game looks normally. Let me just restart this quick. See if I might have just goofed up one of the settings, because there is one setting that like goofs up how it looks. And already I can feel the back of this right here getting warm. See if I can just do a load state. Maybe I'm just not remembering right. Maybe it does look like that normally, but I swear it was a lot darker and didn't look quite so bright. Yeah, there we go. This is how it normally looks, but turn the brightness down a little. Because I turn the brightness up, because like I said, I play this at work where I'm out in a car in the full sunlight, and then it's hard to see the screen. Switch. This is left is reload, up is grenade, right is switch weapons, and down is to knife. The pistol absolutely sucks on this, so do not use it. And if you press down, you'll lunge into them and knife. Because that's just how World War I Zombies was. Or World at War, whichever one it was that this was from. And we'll just restart that real quick. I want to at least show you me get past wave 1, just so you guys know that the game works properly. There is some glitches where the zombies kind of like get stuck on stuff, but the developers said that they're planning to fix that in future updates. It's because of the zombies' pathing system. They're built to just go from point A to B at one point, so if you interrupt any of that, it'll mess them up and they'll get stuck on things. It says average 58 FPS, but it says I'm locked at 60, but you can tell when the FPS dips down a little. Like right there, the FPS dipped down a little. You can hear it from the audio. I can turn this up to where it's overclocked a little bit with the higher performance settings for the CPU and whatnot, but it doesn't seem to make too big of a difference. You can also play this game like just in a web browser on your computer, and then it runs perfectly fine because your computer will get hundreds of FPS. See if I can find the mystery box, which does work. Everything that's supposed to work works perfectly fine in this game. If you can deal with the FPS dropping after a while, you could definitely play this on here. I've had fun playing it. Right here it's lagging because the zombie must have got stuck running up against a wall somewhere. That's usually when it starts to lag out. Yeah, as you can see, the PSP was not meant to handle this game. Neither was the Trimui Smart Pro, because it only handles so much of PSP. It's still playable, but it's got some slowdown for sure. I've never messed with like frame skipping or anything. Let's see, maybe if I turn it to the regular PSP resolution instead of double, it'll get better performance, but I'm not really noticing a difference. It looks and plays this, well, it doesn't look the same, but it's playing the same to me. Let's see what happens if I turn frame skip on. It's just set to automatic. Well, it took a little second, but that definitely helped. If you're a fan of like the classic zombies formula, just surviving as long as you can, then you're just like me and you would enjoy playing this. Can definitely tell that even though you can use the right joystick, it was only designed to work with pressing 3 buttons up here. Pull one last gun from the mystery box and we'll move on to the next game. Ooh, I've never gotten this one yet. Oh, it's only good for up close, that's for sure. I'll just die on purpose here. I was also playing a lot of Valkyrie Chronicles, but that game takes a long time to play through, so I'm not going to waste time showing that. Got Zelda Ocarina of Time. I've been trying to play through this because even as a kid I never did a full playthrough. As an adult I started a couple times on emulators, but last time I tried my computer broke when I was like halfway through the game, so I think right now I'm in the Forest Temple. Game works perfectly fine. You definitely do not have to run this with the overclock, whatever you want to call it, on, where it upgrades the CPU performance, but sometimes I just turn it on because it seems to make it more stable frame rate wise. Like, you heard that little bit of hiccup in the music during animations like that, but the game itself runs perfectly fine. Doesn't seem like it runs slow or anything. There's Ocarina of Time. Let's see. I think I'll just end it right there. So basically, to summarize everything, my dislike is the issue with the joystick not registering whichever way, and it just happens randomly. So hopefully they find a fix for that. And this gets kind of hot on the back when you play more demanding games. Other than that, it's a great device. I haven't had any other issues with it. Sleep mode's great. I definitely want to get a bigger SD card to put in there so I can have more games on it, but that'll come down in the future. If you guys got any questions or noticed anything that I didn't go over you wanted to ask me about, I'll make sure to reply to any comments. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you like this. In the future, I want to try and get the Mangmi Air X, I think it's called, which is essentially this same device, but it has Hall effect joysticks. The buttons all feel better. The triggers up here stick out further. It plays PS1 and PSP. Supposedly it handles all the games perfectly, whereas this one only handles some of them because it's more powerful. It's got a Snapdragon processor rather than the All Winter or whatever one this one has. So basically the joystick issue would be fixed on that one. The buttons would all feel better. Any games that didn't work on here most likely work on there. And that one has a cooling fan on the back. It's got an intake and exhaust out the top so it won't get hot. And it comes with a case and screen protector out of the box. And I think you can get it for as cheap as $75 if you pre-order right now. So I'm definitely thinking about pre-ordering that. Stay tuned for a future video about that.